Good evening, everybody. We're getting ready to start our video preview for SMB's Holiday Select Sale. The bidding will be opening here in just a minute on our auction site, and we'll be going through and reviewing the horses and talking about some of the functions of the auction site. We'll do the preview tonight right from the auction site, so everybody will get a chance to see how it works. There are a couple of changes in the auction site. In the bidding process that we'll show you here in just a second, and we'll go through and talk about some of these horses. So we want to welcome everybody. This is our third annual Holiday Select Sale. This is an online only sale. As I mentioned, the bidding is just about to open. It will stay open through tomorrow evening. The first horse will close at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time tomorrow. And then they close in 5-minute increments. So hip number 1 will be at 5 o'clock. Hip number 2 will be at 5:05. Hip number 3 at 5:10, and so on. Now we want to remind everybody that if somebody bids in the last 60 seconds, that will extend the bidding on that horse by 2 minutes. The horse can extend, a single horse can extend multiple times, and it will not change the times on any other horses. So if you're watching a couple of horses that are close together, back to back, you will want to keep track of as they start to extend tomorrow night. You can pay attention and watch that. So with that, we're going to start out by coming here to a website. The easiest way, if you're just trying to get to the Octria site and you don't already have the link, would be go to our website, which is smbhorsesales.com. Right here on the main page, you'll notice there's some quick links here. If you haven't registered to bid, you can click here. It'll take you into the registration form. And if you're already registered, you can click here to go in and bid. I'll also point out that there is a gallery for these horses on our website. You can go down, you can see the online catalog here. You can flip through that. You can come down here. There is some links to consignor contact and terms and conditions. If you click on that, it'll take you to that. So if you're looking to get a hold of some of the consignors, ask questions, you can click on that. All their phone numbers, hip numbers, horse locations are all on that. You can also click here to register to bid. And if you click here, it will show you kind of the settings that are also right here. So level of rider that the horse is compatible with, temperament. And then you can click in here and go to any horse. You'll also notice up here, again, there's click here to bid online. There's register to bid online. There's directions here for online bidding. One other thing that I'll point out, there's some frequently asked questions that you can click on here and get answers to a lot of your questions. So I'm going to click here. It's going to take me into the Octria site. The catalog will load right here. You'll see we've got a practice bidding up. I'm going to go in and use that here for just a second to show you some of the practice bidding. If you go into the page of the horse or whatever horse you're on, you can scroll through here and scroll back here. In this practice bidding, you'll notice there's a couple options for bidding. It will default to this. This is what's a little bit different. Previously, there was a little click box here that stayed checked to put in a proxy bid, and if you unchecked it, it was a custom bid. Octria changed the layout on this a little bit. If you just want to do a custom bid, you would enter it here. So if I wanted to just go jump to 51,000 regardless of the increment, I would put in the 51,000 and jump it there. Now I'm up against a proxy bid, and it's telling me that, so it's telling me I would have to bid higher to get above that proxy bid. Now I want to show you if I want to put in a proxy bid. It's at 51,000 now. Say I want to say 51,100, but I want to put a proxy bid in for 60,000. Now I put the proxy bid amount down here. Now if you're putting in a proxy bid, you have to fill in this box up here that shows what your immediate bid is, and then put your max amount for the proxy bid. This is something that we just learned today from Octria. It's a change from the way it's been. It's something that they did without us realizing, but there it is. So I'm going to click that. I'll put it in. Okay, now it's jumped me up. Somebody else's proxy bid was at 55. It put me in at 55,100. I have the proxy bid in. Now the system will bid for me up to 60,000. Now, if I wanted to go in tomorrow night at the end, I just kind of want to bid as it goes. I can use, notice I switched to quick bid mode. That'll just take me in the next increment. I hit it, I click OK. It goes, actually, because I'm the proxy bidder, it went ahead and took that bid. If somebody else would have bid against me, it would have told them that the proxy bid was in place. So this is a little bit different on the proxy bid. Want to make everybody aware of that so that they're clear with it. With that, we want to touch on a couple other housekeeping items. If you come in here to the horse, and you notice I just went to the next item, this is hip number 1. If I open up his pictures and I scroll to the end, we have pre-purchase exam reports up on each of these horses. They are a general pre-purchase. They're all going to be on the same form. You have general health information up here, including checking teeth, eyes, different aspects, respiratory, cardiovascular, the body condition. I want to touch on that. Somebody asked me about this the other day. This is a rating on a scale of 1 to 9. 9 is not the perfect score. 1 is not the worst, or not ideal either. 5 is actually kind of where you want to be. 9 is, this horse is listed as 5 out of 9. That's kind of middle ground. It means the horse isn't overweight and it isn't underweight. So as you watch that, realize that it's not trying to get the high score. High score could be overweight on that particular deal. And then you notice the vet kind of backs that up with average on the weights deal. Down here is from hoof testing and palpation. 0 is good. 5 means that the horse had a reaction. Down here is on flexion tests. All 4 legs would have been flexed. The horse would have been walked and trotted while the vet observed. Again, 0 is good. 5 would show that the horse had some sort of indication that there may be some lameness. So again, that will be in the pictures on every horse. It'll be the last picture, should be the last picture in there. You can go and review those. Again, it's a general pre-purchase report. We're trying to give buyers the best information that we can for you to make a good decision as you're buying these horses. If you have questions on those, we suggest you print them out, contact your own vet and ask questions, or call up the consignor, ask questions on it. It's there. We're giving you information to shop these horses up front. So as you shop them, make sure you review that and understand you're buying them as that states. So familiarize yourself with those. The other thing I want to touch in is you read the write-up, you will notice that the horse location is listed right here at the end. Payment is due at the end of the sale. We are required by the USDA to have all the funds in a trust fund by the end of the day on Monday, so we need to know that we've got that money collected. Especially credit card payments, we need to collect those tomorrow to make sure we can have them in on Monday. We do accept bank wires if you pre-approved. We have a few that did. If you did not already approve with us to do a bank wire, it's too late. You will need to pay with a credit card tomorrow when these close out if you're the winning bidder, and there is a 3% processing fee on the credit card. If you need to split up something on multiple cards, you will notice up here there's for questions, payments, processes, there's 2 phone numbers there. You can call one of those phone numbers. They can help you split it up between a couple of cards if you need to use multiple credit cards. With that, there's the general write-up here, and then the video down here. We're going to use the videos for this preview. We'll jump here into hip number 1. This is Fawcett. Fawcett is a 2009 grade gelding. He's 15-2 hands. He has a disposition of 2 for beginner friendly, temperament of 2 for mellow. He's brought to us by 6 Shooter Livestock. They're located in Blackfoot, Idaho. He's been used in trail riding, ranch work, barrel racing, 4-H club shows, play days, sorting, and team penning. Really enjoyed watching this horse. He's the first horse right out of the gate, but boy, I like how he's put together. Nice and tall. You can see 6 Shooter does a great job desensitizing these horses, showing you unique ways to see their temperaments and how they'll react to different situations. We're going to watch the first couple of minutes of each of these videos. Keep in mind, a lot of them are longer than that. Some of these horses have multiple videos, so go follow them back through. This is just a big, nice, solid horse. Got nice front shoulder on him. He's got some color. He's going to get you noticed. As I've watched these videos, I like how this horse carries his head, pays attention to the rider. Just kind of watching how he does carry that head, watching his ears. He's paying attention. Just a good, nice, solid horse that starts right out of the sale. I know we've had quite a bit of attention on him on Facebook. I just think he's a good, cool, all-around kind of a horse. Six Shooter mentions he's got good ground manners. He's been a good trail horse. He's been used around cows. Has potential maybe to be used as a barrel horse. And he's the same every time you get him out and ride him. You can see him here going through the water, walking out, just doing whatever he's being asked. Again, as I watch these videos, I watch how this horse carries his head and just reacts to the different situations. I just really like how this horse is. He's one of the best horses I think we've had in the number one spot for a long time. You can carry a flag on him down the road. Traffic's not going to bother him. Just a good, solid horse. I am going to throw out again too. We mentioned research the pre-purchase reports. I talked about shopping the horses before you bid. If you're going to bid on a horse, please, please, please call the consignor and talk to him if you already haven't. Hopefully you've already called and asked questions. Maybe you've gone and visited the consignor and rode the horses before the sale. We very seldom have problems when somebody calls the consignor and asks questions. Tell them what you're going to use the horse for. They don't want to have problems any more than you do. So please, if you haven't already talked to the consignor and you're planning on bidding, you still got all the way through tomorrow morning and afternoon. Make sure you call and ask them some questions about these horses and make sure they're going to be a good fit. Okay, we're going to move to hip number 2. This is Molly. Molly is brought to us by Cobb Family Horses and Mules out of Weiser, Idaho. It's a 2010 grade mare. So she's 12 years old. She's 15 hands. A disposition 1, anyone can ride. Temperament 2, mellow. She's got experience in trail riding and ranch work. You can see here in the video, you can go get the mail, you can put out the trash. Just do a little bit of everything on this mare. Work a gate, go through a gate. She's just kind of that cool, handy size. I used to really like the bigger, taller horses, but the older I've gotten, the little bit of extra weight I carry around, I kind of like a little bit shorter horse now, and this is just kind of a cool size. You can even play baseball off this mare. You can carry the poles and put them away. Just a good, solid, all-around kind of horse. I know, talking with Matt Cobb, they had these horses out hunting deer and elk on them this fall. This is one that they had her out all over the mountains up there in Weiser, Idaho. I know that she's seen some tough country, took care of some people packing them. They've got her hobble broke. She's picket broke, so you can put her on a high line. She's been packed on. She'll cross rivers and down timber with ease. She's just a good, solid, all-around kind of horse. You can just see she just kind of takes everything in stride. Big, solid, nice back hip on there. You can toss the pop around. I'm kind of surprised that didn't explode and go all over on him there. But you can see her lope out here. Picked up her lead. Good in how she's carrying her head. Just a good, solid, nice little mare. I talked about the first horse being really fancy, kind of nice horse, the number one spot. This is maybe I don't think there's a maybe. In my view, I think this is the best mix of horses we've ever had, cumulative, just across the board. And I know we say that a lot as we get into sell. It just seems like they keep getting better and better, but I've really been excited about this particular mix of horses. There's something for everybody, whether you're just looking for a good solid trail horse to something to take and work on the ranch. We've got some fancy horses. We got a bunch of Frisian crosses and draft crosses. It's just a cool mix of horses that we've got in this sale. I would also like to remind everybody, if you're the winning bidder on these horses, you will pick up the horse from the consignor location. We talked about where you can find the contact information and their location. That's where the horse will need to be picked up from. You've got 7 days to get them picked up without worrying about any kind of a charge. If you go beyond 7 days, one, you need to call the consignor tomorrow and make sure that they can accommodate you if you need more than 7 days. And two, you need to ask them. They may charge you a boarding fee after a week from Sunday. So make sure that you're aware of that. I also will throw out on that consignor contact at the bottom. There's some commercial transport companies if you need to contact somebody to see. I know that several have already been contacted and asked about for this sale. Moving on to hip number 3. This is Lightning. Lightning is brought to us by Craig Jessup out of Hilldale, Utah. He's a 2016 titled Mustang. He's 14 hands. He's a disposition 1 that anyone can ride. Temperament 4, more woe than go. You can see he's got some training to sit down and lay down here. Craig has done a great job with these horses. He's got a batch of horses in here. I've been really impressed with some of the things that he's done with these horses. A lot of them will sit and lay down. This is another one. This is just kind of a cool all-around kind of horse. I mentioned he's 2016. He's been used in trail riding, ranch work, ranch roping. The other thing, I noticed on this batch of horses that Craig's got, most of them, Craig and his brother, they've got 6 horses in between the sale. Besides some of this extra work that they've done to teach them to lay down, to sit, the groundwork that they've done, one of the things that popped out to me as I started looking through the paperwork that they sent us on the registrations, they've had most of these horses since they were yearlings. They've done everything from probably halter breaking them on. And they've done a great job, as you can see in some of the videos. They've got some well-rounded experience, but these are horses that he's had for several years and been working with, and we're excited about the batch of horses he's got. Some of these horses he's got a couple in here that I mentioned are titled Mustangs, and boy, if you've never been around them, those are tough horses. If you're looking for something with some endurance to go out on the mountain, to go long days, those Mustangs just will never stop. They go forever. And he's got a couple of cool ones in here. Kind of cool colored, well put together. You can see again here with them sitting down. He's done a great job teaching them multiple different aspects and things. There's some cool horses here. Okay, moving on to hip number 4. This is Latigo. Latigo is brought to us by Marissa Hansen out of Blackfoot, Idaho. Out of Blackfoot, Idaho. He is a 2012 grade gelding. His disposition is 2 for beginner friendly. Temperaments 2 for mellow. He's been used in trail riding, ranch work, ranch roping, barrel racing, 4-H club shows, play days, sorting, and team penning. I've really liked this horse as well coming in. I like really a lot how this horse carries his head and just pays attention, walks out. I like the conformation on this horse. You can see here in the video, they got the milk jugs and the cans tied around him. He's not going to get bothered with stuff around his legs. There's some parts of the videos here riding up the trail, railroad tracks, different things. Just a cool, nice horse. He's cool colored. He's well put together, got a pretty head, nice big hip, shoulder. We'll see him here go out through the water. This is a cool horse. I really like this horse. When I was a kid, I had a fascination with paints, and this has been one that I'd really been looking for. I like those tricolors. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened with the video. We'll jump it back up here a little bit. But this is just a cool horse. I really like this horse. I have since they sent him in. Just a good, solid, good all-around gelding. Right in the prime of his life. He's 10 years old. He's got a ton of life ahead of him, but he's been there, got enough experience. He's going to be level-headed. Here you can see him. You can pull the cart around and feed from him. Just a good, nice, solid horse. I can't find anything in this horse that I'd fault. I like everything that I've seen about him so far. He'll pick up his leads, as they're saying here in the video. Just a good, solid, nice, cool colored. I mean, just kind of cool markings. You're not going to see a lot of paints with that marking. He's unique. Again, I like everything about this horse. I like how he carries his head. I like how he moves. I like that hip. Wants to stop there for you good. Travels out nice there through the trees and covering the logs. Just a good, solid, all-around kind of horse. If you're looking for something that you're going to go out and want to be able to do a little bit of everything on, that's one you probably ought to be paying attention to. Moving on to hip number 5. This is Jim. This is actually our daughter's horse, Amber Gonzalez. So she's here in Richfield, Utah. Jim is half Percheron, half Halflinger. Her sire was a Percheron. Her dam was a Halflinger. She's a 2019. Our daughter bought her as a weanling, and has been working with her ever since. She's about 14 hands, solid as a tank. Her disposition's 3 for a confident rider. She's got about around 70 rides on her now. We've had her over to a trainer getting a tune-up recently, just because our daughter's been working and in school and hasn't had the time. But so she's got about 70 rides on her. She's wants to learn. She wants to please you. She's still learning with that many rides, obviously, and that's why we've listed with a confident rider. She is very mellow, very friendly, easy to catch, walk up to you in the pasture. She's been used for trail riding, a little bit of ranch work. Again, she's a trainer getting a tune-up up until today. These videos were taken just a couple of weeks ago with her work. And again, she's 3 years old. She's got 70 rides. She's still learning a little bit. But I'll tell you what, this horse is as solid as they come. We have not shoot her. We've just trimmed her, and she's gone barefoot. But she's going to take at least a number 1 shoe, if not bigger. She's big. She's solid. She's big boned. She's going to hold up for you. She's friendly. She's going to make somebody a cool horse. Our daughter bought her with the idea that she was going to keep her forever, but as she's getting a little bit closer to going to college and some different things, she's realizing that maybe she's not going to have the time for a young horse and doesn't want her to sit out here and go to waste. So we know the breeder. We've had her since she was a weanling. Big, solid, nice horse. She's ready for somebody to go finish out, make a ranch horse out of her, do different things. I mean, she's just really, really, really willing. She sat all summer without being ridden since spring. Our daughter rode her in the spring, but then she sat. This is after about maybe 10 or 15 rides after she'd been sitting all summer. So she needs to be finished out, but she's just willing. She wants to learn. She wants to make somebody a heck of a horse. And she's solid as a tank. You're not going to find one any more solid than her. Moving on to hip number 6. This is Sparkles. This is a 2018 grade mare brought to us by Tim Cobb up in Weiser, Idaho. She's 14 hands. She's disposition 2 for beginner friendly, temperament 2 for mellow. She's been used in trail riding, ranch work, 4-H, club shows, and play days. Cobbs have been putting horses in our sales for several years now. We mention this every sale. They've got about 20,000 acres up there they ranch on. A lot of it's heavily mountain country. These horses see some rough country. They get used and moved around. This is a nice young mare. She's only 4 years old. She's kind of flashy and put together, fancy, with some color that's going to get you noticed. She's riding out, again, just a nice little 4-year-old young horse, got her whole life ahead of her. You can see there's just a nice little horse that's going to make somebody something that they've got years and years and years ahead of them. Moving on to hip number 7. This is one I was really excited to see come into the sale. This is a Gypsy Cross brought to us by KD Performance Horses over in Ballard, Utah. It is KD's Packing Pistol. He is registered Gypsy Cross. Again, brought to us by KD Performance Horses, or Wade and Lindsay Davis out of Ballard, Utah. It's a 2018 model. He's 14.3 hands. His disposition is 2 for beginner friendly. His temperament is 3 for average. He's experienced in trail ride and ranch work. I know, talking with Wade, his boys have been riding this horse for the last several months. Wade's used him as well. He's just really kind of cool put together. He's got that big flashy mane and tail that goes with the Gypsy Cross part of him. Again, he is registered Gypsy Cross. I'm trying to get to his papers here. So he is a gypsy. His sire is gypsy. His dam is a grade horse out of European stock. And again, 2018, he's registered with the Gypsy Horse Registry of America as a crossbred. You can see here Wade pulling a calf with him, pulling a cow. I guarantee you this horse is seen all over the ranch, all over the mountains, been up in the Uintas over there with Wade. He's cool put together. You can see they've used him for a little bit of everything, from Wade's boys riding him to Wade using him out there. I think maybe, I can't remember on this video, they help with the auction down there, working the alleys. I'm pretty sure this horse has probably been used there as well as out. Again, he's only 4 years old. He's going to be solid as a tank. Here they've got him out there in the mountains. Looks like they're packing on him in this one. Out there in the Uintas, and it's just going to be a cool horse that's going to make somebody something that they've got years. Again, I mean, this horse is only 4 years old. He's got 20 years ahead of him. He's cool. Gypsy's been the hot thing. I just like the versatility of him. Here he's going to go out in the water, walk right out. Just a solid rounded, cool horse right here that is going to make somebody something that you just don't see every day. These gypsies have been hot. They're not that easy to find. This is a cool one. I really like the way he's put together. I like the color. I like the mix that they've got in him. I like the versatility. That's a cool horse right there that people should be paying attention to. Moving on to hip number 8. This is Nacho. Nacho is brought to us by 6 Shooter Livestock. He is a 2017 grade gelding, disposition 2 for beginner friendly, temperament 2 for mellow. Again, he's going to be up in Blackfoot, Idaho. He's been used in trail riding, ranch work, ranch roping, sorting, and team penning. I know, talking to Larry, they've just really been impressed with this horse and the things that they've done and worked with him. He was actually in our September sale and had to be held off. He had been bit by a snake, and they decided to hold him out and let him heal up. And I know, talking with Larry, when they had let him off and healed up, when they pulled him back out, he just went right back into what they'd been doing, like he'd been ridden the day before. So he's one that you'll be able to lay off and do. And Larry's talked to me quite a bit about how impressed he's been with this horse, how easy he's been to work with and willing to learn, that he holds on. He's, Palomino, he's flashy, he's going to get you noticed. Just a cool, nice gelding right here. He's only 5 years old. He's got a ton of life ahead of him. Again, 6 Shooter, is have done a good job of getting him out, getting him desensitized, exposing him to all kinds of stuff. If I'm going to again mention, we only watch the first couple of minutes on these videos, and several of them are 8-10 minutes long. You should make sure you've watched them all the way through if you haven't. But if you watch these videos from 6 Shooter, I guarantee you're going to see some things that you haven't seen before. They do a good job of being able to showcase the temperament of their horses through different ways that they can kind of show you. This is a good example where they're tying the jugs and showing you how he's going to handle things around his legs. And he just, nice sized gelding that's, again, going to be kind of an all-around. He's got his whole life ahead of him. And I mentioned earlier, Larry's told me over and over again about how just he picks things up and retains it and is willing and is going to be ready to go the next time you pull him out again. I mentioned it earlier. I don't know that I've been as excited about a mix of horses as what we've got in this sale. We actually only planned on letting 40 in. We ended up letting 45 in, and that was, we actually rejected a dozen or so horses out of this sale because we just felt like we couldn't get above that 45 number in online, but we still had a really hard time deciding just from the mix of horses that we got because we got so many good options in this sale. This is another one that I've really liked watching through. This horse is brought to us by Michelle Schmidt and Schmidt Horses out of Gerber, California. He's a 2010 AQHA gelding. He's 15 hands. He's disposition 1, anyone can ride. Temperament 2 for mellow. He's been used in trail riding, ranch work, ranch roping, sorting, team penning, and western pleasure. Michelle says he's a dream. He's a dream to ride. I was really impressed watching through this video how he just kind of handles this nice slow rope, collect it up. Just whatever she asks him to do in this video, he just does it without hesitation. I've really liked, as I've watched this video, how this horse handles himself. Look how loose the rein is on her right here that she's riding with. Just a nice loose rein, and he's just collected up in that nice lope. I'll tell you what, if you're looking for a horse that go in for your kids to go do 4-H, or if you're going to a local show where you want to do ranch pleasure or western pleasure or something, here's one right here you ought to be paying attention to. He's got color. He's going to get you noticed. He's flashy. He's well put together. Again, watching this video, the loose rein, collected up, how he rides, just totally in control right there in a loose rein. I really like this horse. He is, as I mentioned, AQHA registered. His registered name is Smokey Done It Right. He's by the Grulo Maker, by Hooked on Blue, by Blue Smoke Gem. Also Iron Leaguer on the top. On the bottom, he's out of Miss Lady Harlan, a daughter of Miss M.R. Blue Harlan, by Hard Hunka Harlan, and also Would Be a Star on the bottom. So you got some foundation names there. You're going to get back into some of the halter and pleasure breeding there on the AQH side. Again, just you watch this video, the loose rein, he collects up, he comes out of that lope, but just walks out calm. I just like everything I see about this horse and how he handles things. We'll let her pick up the flag here before we move on to the next video. But just, this is a horse, again, if you're looking for something for your youth to go do 4-H, Little Britches, something along those lines, or if you're looking for something to take to the local breed shows or even just the local shows, here's a horse you ought to be paying attention to. Okay, moving on to hip number 10. Here's one of our first. We've got a selection like I've not seen in 7 years of doing this in our cell or really anywhere else. We have 5 or 6 registered Frisian crosses in this cell, and this is the first one right here. This is ICJ Star Prancer, brought to us by Isaac Jessup. This is another one of the Jessup horses. They're out of Hilldale, Utah. This horse, if you look on the paperwork, was actually bred by the Jessups. So they were the breeder on the horse. They've had him since he was born. He was sired by one of the Frisian studs that Young Family Farms had over there. So he's cool. His sire is Frisian. I'm trying to look here to see what his dam was. Looks like his dam was a Morgan. So it's a Frisian crossed with a Morgan. This is a 2020 model, so he's 2 years old. I actually think Isaac reached out to me the other day and told me these videos were like the third ride on this horse. So when they made this videos, it was just the third ride on the horse. He's 16 hands, disposition 4 for an intermediate righty. Obviously, he's 2 years old. Somebody needs to understand what they're doing to keep him going. Temperament 3 for average. He's been used a little bit in ranch work. Again, he's just 2, so he's going to have some limited riding on him. He is a stallion. So if you're looking for something to start a breeding program and cross some Friesian into it, here is a registered Friesian cross stallion crossed with a Morgan. He's got some good size, some good bone. Again, this video, Isaac told me, is his 3rd ride that he's riding in this video right here. So you can see the disposition out on his 3rd ride, riding down the country road through the sagebrush. Again, I mentioned earlier, they've done a great job with some of the groundwork and different things. They've got this horse, I know somewhere in this video, he's teaching him to kind of a shake or different types of things, but he's got some groundwork done where you can teach him to pick up each feet at a snap of the finger and reach out. He's done a great job of getting a good foundation on these young horses. And again, here you're seeing the 3rd ride on this horse. Now, he's had more since, but when this video was made, it was the 3rd ride. Here's where I was talking about. You can teach him to kind of paw on command with the snap of the finger there, both sides. That just speaks to the intelligence of these horses. We've been watching these Friesian crosses for the last 2 or 3 years ourselves. My wife bred one of our mares to a Friesian stud this year because she's just so excited about their disposition, their intelligence, what you're able to do with it. And here Isaac's done a great job of showing that. I mean, a young horse, this is a 2-year-old stud. And you can just see how he's handling, how his disposition is, how smart he is to pick that up and be able to go. This is a cool little horse. And again, we've got a good selection of these Friesians. So, and as I mentioned earlier, the stud that horse that he bred to was one of the studs at Young Living Farms up there. So, comes from a known breeding program in the Friesian world. Moving on to hip number 11. This is another one I was really excited about to see when she came into the sale. This is Boon Boon Kitty SSR. They call her Kitty. Brought to us by Dax Hunt out of Enterprise, Utah. This is a 2019 AQHA mare. She's 14 hands with a disposition of 3 for confident rider, temperament 3 for average. Again, she's only 3 years old, so not a surprise there on the need for a confident rider, but look at what they've got her going. I mean, if you watch the stop on this horse and throughout this video, they've got one heck of a stop put on this horse. That you can see they've already got her roping, doing different things. I think right here she's bridleless. This is a 3-year-old horse riding bridleless. You just saw roping on her, and she's got a pedigree to go with it. She is by Boone Too Soon, by Boone White Dancer, by Boonlight Dancer on the top. Also Starlight, Star Bright on the top. On the bottom, out of Pepto's Cat Surprise, a daughter of Peptozone by Pepto Boomsmall. Also, you have Highbrow Cat there on the bottom. So you got Highbrow Cat, Pepto Boomsmall, Starlight, Star Bright, Boonlight Dancer, all there on the papers. You know she's going to be an athlete. You can see it right here. I mean, just look at the stop. That's bridleless. Notice, that's bridleless, nothing around the horse's neck. He's just sitting down in that saddle right there. Now, if you want to look for an athlete of a horse, here it is right here. She started roping. You can see her. She's collected up, how she carries her head. He just talked about that stop. I couldn't get enough of watching this horse and how she just tucks that butt and wants to stop. If you're looking for a killer heel horse, you want to turn something into a calf horse, you want to go out into the reining pen, the reining cow horse pen, you know she's going to be athletic with that pedigree. You can see it here. You can see here this young lady getting on. Look at how she's paying attention to those cows, carrying her head, walking, settled in right there. I mean, here's an athlete of a horse with some color and a pedigree. If you're looking for something that you really want to go out and make something, again, I just can't get over that stop. This is a cool horse. You go make something out of her, compete on her, rope on her, and 10 years from now, go get some babies out of her. She's got the pedigree that's going to produce it. She's got a heck of a start on her. Again, this is just a 3-year-old. We're watching them, collected up, riding bridleless. We watched her watched him sit her down and stop with no bridle, nothing around the neck. Here she's bridleless again. This is a cool horse. Somebody really ought to be paying attention here. This is just a cool horse. Moving on to hip number 12. This is Sprinkler. This is another one brought to us by 6 Year Livestock. This is a brother to the hip number 1 horse, Fawcett. So if you wanted a match set of Blue Roan horses that is truly match set, you can get hip number 1 and hip number 12, and you're going to have 2 brothers that are matched up really nice. Again, they call him Sprinkler. He's another one from 6 Year Livestock. He's from up in Blackfoot, Idaho. There's a 2014 gelding, so he's 8 years old. Sorry. He's 15 hands, disposition 2 for beginner friendly, temperament 2 for mellow, experienced in trail riding, ranch work, 4-H club shows, play days, sorting, and team penning. So again, he's a brother to the hip number 1 horse, and I like him just as much. That same kind of build, nice big solid front shoulder, good hip. He's got some good bone to him. I like how he's just kind of carrying his head and going in stride there, loping out with a nice stride, paying attention here, going through the trees, nice and relaxed. Like how he's carrying his head. Just a cool horse right here. And again, you have an opportunity to have a match set of brothers. Boy, if you're looking for something you want to go to Pair's Pleasure on somewhere, you pick up this horse and hip number 1, and you're probably not going to get a much better match pair. Again, 6 Year does a great job of showing us the different ways they're going to handle things. Here he's going to go out into the water. We just saw him with the jugs around. In our September sale, which was live, they did the jugs right there in the sale ring so that everybody could see it live. I think that's a cool idea to kind of show you the temperament of the horse and how he's going to handle those kind of things. I do want to remind everybody tomorrow when the bidding starts closing. Again, hip number 1 will be 5, hip number 2 505, hip number 3 10, 510. If anybody bids in the last minute, it will extend the time on that horse by 2 minutes. A horse can extend multiple times, and it will not change the time on any other horses. So please remember that. Again, I don't know that we've had a couple of teams that were brothers, but this is kind of a unique opportunity to have these 2 in here. Again, you just see the disposition of this horse, how well-mannered he is, how he handles everything. They do such a great job of showing us that. Boy, if you're looking for a mountain horse, a good solid ranch horse, the other thing, 6 Year does a lot of team penning. They enjoy that. They go do it quite a bit. Probably every one of their horses has likely been out and done some team sorting. So if you're looking for something along those lines, again, you have 2 brothers that are match set and go do some ranch sorting on a match set of horses. But on top of that, I like how these horses carry themselves. I just really like how they take everything in stride, and what we see in these videos. Okay, moving on to hip number 13. This is Bullet. This is another one brought to us out of Hilldale, Utah by Craig Jessup, Isaac's brother. This is a 2016 titled Mustang. Again, out of Hilldale, Utah. He's a 2014 model. Disposition 2 for beginner friendly. Temperament 2 for mellow. Again, I mentioned it earlier. These are fairly young horses, 6 years old, but they've got some experience. And we noticed on the paperwork, these Jessup boys have had these horses basically since at least 2 or on. They've had them and been using them. They're going to be familiar with them. Again, I've been real impressed with what they've shown they've kind of done with these horses. From laying them down, sitting them down. You know that they've got a lot of groundwork on them before they started, just by the different things they've shown. You can see there, getting him to work off his feet, spinning around, pivoting. I like how he tucks his head there to back up. A cool kind of horse. And I mentioned it earlier, these Mustangs, boy, if you're looking for something that's tough, these Mustangs are as tough as they come. They'll go all day long. They'll pack just about anything. They'll go through some of the roughest country you've ever seen. We had some neighbors a while back that had one of these Mustangs that taught every one of their kids how to ride. They have good dispositions typically when you get going with them. Just kind of a cool horse. They've used this one for trail riding, ranch work, ranch roping. It's a good, kind of well-rounded, nice young horse with his whole life ahead of him, ready to finish out for what you want. It's got a good foundation. You can see him here working the gait, working off his feet. Just a good, solid, nice gelding right here. Had him out working cows here, working through the brush. See him riding him out there one-handed. Just a good, and he's cool colored. Look at that mane. Look at the forelock. He's going to get you noticed out there for sure. Okay, moving on to hip number 13. This is another one I've been kind of excited to see how it does and where it ends up. This is Charlie is his barn name. He is S. Hart Little Cash. He's a 2014 AQHA gelding. He's 15 two hands. Has a disposition of 2 for beginner friendly, temperament of 2 for mellow. Brought to us by Kelsey Hansen. He's up there in Blackfoot, Idaho. She's used him in trail riding, ranch work, 4-H club shows, play days, sorting, and team penning. We've known Kelsey for several years. This has been her personal horse, and I guarantee you, if this has been her personal horse, you know you can trust this horse, and he's going to be a good, solid horse. I know I've talked to a couple people who have called in and asked me a little bit about this horse, and I've told them just that. If this has been Kelsey's horse for the last, I think that she's had him since he was 2, so he's 8 years old. I mean, she's had him 5 or 6 years. I guarantee you this is going to be a nice, solid horse. This is the Larry and Laura at 6 Year Livestock, one of their daughters, and really she's just kind of at a different stage in life where she's not up riding this horse as much, and that's the only reason he's for sale. It's been her personal horse, and again, I guarantee you if she's had this horse, that's a good, solid, nice horse. He's been team penned on. He was only 3 here in this picture. He's solid. I like how this horse is put together. I mean, he's just a tank of a horse. Big bone, solid, big hip, cool colored horse. Let me get his papers up here. Again, just solid horse. He is by S. Hart Smart Cash, by Smarty $4.99, by Milky Way $4.99. Also Hard Cash Dash on the top. On the bottom, out of MS Hart Little T, by LW Playguns Diamond, by Plastic Playgun. Also Ed's Little Whiskey on the bottom. Again, 2014, just that pretty chestnut color. He's solid as a tank. I guarantee you he's going to take care of you out there. Again, I mentioned earlier, we've known Kelsey for years. I guarantee you this is going to be a good, solid, all-around kind of a horse. If you're looking for something that's just going to take care of you out on the trails, out on the ranch, just about anything, this is one you definitely ought to be paying attention to. And he's just way cool put together and cool colored, pretty head, solid as a tank. Definitely one that everybody should be paying attention to, which again is almost every horse in this sale. There's just such a cool mix in this sale that we've been so excited about. Moving on to hip number 17. This is ICJ Starlight Dancer. This is another one of our Frisian crosses. He is, let me get to his... He is, again, another one that's sired by one of the Young Family Farms horses. Isaac was the breeder on him, so he's had him since the day he hit the ground. His dam is also a Morgan, so it's a Morgan crossed with the Friesian. And the registry on these, for every one of these Friesians, is the Friesian Heritage Horse and Sport Horse International. For all of the Friesians we have in this, that's the registry that they're registered under. This is a 2019 model, so 3 years old. Again, you look at the work he's done on the ground, the disposition of these horses, the intelligence, what you can teach them. He got him laying down. Just look at that horse licking its lips, relaxed, comfortable. You know that he's done the work right. The horse isn't concerned, not fighting him. They've done some cool things with these horses, and it just impresses me with the intelligence of them. Here you can see him kind of walking out with it, that cool walk that those Friesians have. Young horse, got his whole life ahead. This is a mare, so this is another one. Boy, if you picked up the other horse that's a stud, you picked up this horse that's a mare, you could keep that half Friesian going in them, and just have yourself a breeding program right here if you pick up the two of them. I think there's another mare in here as well from the Jessup boys. But if you wanted to start a breeding program for Friesians, here's the opportunity. Again, just like how they're carrying out. I like the intelligence that's shown in these horses, and what you can see from them. They're going to give you some size. They're going to walk out nice. You know, I mentioned earlier, my wife and I have been watching these Friesian crosses for several years now. We really like them. We think they're cool. You can do just about anything on them. From you go to the dressage world, this is the horse of choice. That's probably the hardest thing to do on a horse is the dressage world. The precision, the training it takes, and this is the horses they choose because of how well they can be taught and trained to do it. This particular one has also been trained to pull. One of the pictures you can see pulling a cart. Isaac sent us another picture with him harnessed up the other day. So this is one that if you wanted to pull a cart, you could also go pull a cart with her. And again, he's just done a tremendous job with these young horses, getting a good, well-rounded start on them to get them ready to go finish out and make you a heck of a horse. Moving on to hip number 18. This is another one that I think's pretty cool. I like the build, and this horse is a tank, and you can see it. This is Hank, brought to us by Cobb Family Horses and Mules out of Weiser, Idaho. He's a cool dun color. Again, he's just a tank of a horse. He is a 2011 grade gelding. He's 14 hands, disposition 1, anyone can ride, temperament 2 for mellow. He's been used in trail riding, ranch work, ranch roping, sorting, and team penning. And again, he's just a tank of a horse. And again, I kind of like this size. The older I get, the easier it is to get on these a little bit smaller horses than the bigger horses. But he's a tank that, even though he's a little shorter, boy, he's going to carry whatever you need. You can see out here working the cows in the pasture. He's just solid as can be. You can see it in him. Cool colored, flashy, going to get you noticed. I mentioned earlier the Cobbs up there got 20,000 acres they're ranching on. I guarantee you he's seen all kinds of country up there, from the mountains to working the cattle out there in the pastures. He'll ride up to the barrel and get on and off for you. I think they work a gate on him here in this video. But boy, just solid horse. He's 11 years old. He's right in the prime of his life. He's got 10, 12, 15 years left ahead of him. Nothing seems to bother him there. I think he's going to work the gate right here. Just solid built, and pretty. You look at the mane, the tail, the color. Just a cool all-around kind of horse. Again, if you're looking for something really solid for the ranch or out on the trails, here you can pull the swing on the line. Just a little bit of everything. Just a cool all-around horse that's just, again, I like how solid built he is. Again, see him here working out through the pasture, working the cows. Just, carrying it all in stride, doing what he's asked. Just a good, we get people all the time. I actually was talking to somebody today about the age of a gelding. This is kind of just where they're in the prime of their life, where they've learned it. I compared this age to kind of hitting 30 as a person, where you've kind of finally figured out life and hopefully stopped making dumb decisions. And that's kind of where this horse is at in the stage of life that's just going to take care of somebody and go out and be a solid horse. Moving on to hip number 19. This is another one we're excited to see where he ends up and who gets him. But this is Quigley. He's actually KDS Blue Quigley, brought to us by Katie Performance Horses, or Wade and Lindsay Davis out of Ballard, Utah. He is a 2018 model. He is registered as a draft cross. He's 16 hands, disposition 2 for beginner friendly, temperament 2 for mellow. Been used in trail riding, ranch work, ranch roping, driving, and pulling. Boy, he's just cool. Wade's going to lay him down here in the video right here. You can lay him down. You can get on and off, get back on. His kids have been riding him. I know he's used him in the alley. Here you can see him riding bareback with a halter with those boys. Young horse with the whole prime ahead of him, but the disposition, he's just going to take care of you. I talked with Wade quite a bit about this horse. Wade's a trainer. He's seen a little bit of everything from horses. He's always got good horses. He told me that this is as legit of a horse as he's ever seen. That this is one of the favorite horses he's ever worked with. That he's just legit as can be. That you can do anything on him. He's got the right disposition. He's got the right temperament. He's been fun to work with. When I've known Wade for years now, and when Wade tells me that a horse is legit, I'm going to pay attention. When he tells me it's as legit as they come, I'm really going to pay attention. This big, solid, well put together, and I guarantee you if Wade's saying that you can take it to the bank. He is registered with the International Draft and Sport Horse Registry. Again, he's 2018 model. He has DNA testing. I'm trying to see here if it shows. I know that one of the parents is Percheron, and I don't see what the other one might be. Maybe it's in the write-up. Let me go look here. He's Blue Roan on top of that. He's going to get you noticed. He's 4-year-old. His sire was Percheron. His dam was a quarter horse. So you got the big solid of the Percheron. You can have some athleticism from the quarter horse. You can see it work here. Let's see him working off his feet, side passing there. Again, talking with Wade about this horse, I've seen some really good horses come from Wade. He's sold some really good horses all over in the U.S., and when he starts saying this is legit as a horse as they come, somebody definitely needs to pay attention. And I guarantee you, again, he's been used around all over the ranch, in those alleys, working cows, out on the mountains, up through the Uintas. I guarantee you this horse is going to have seen a lot of well-rounded. And again, Wade told me his boys have ridden this horse all over as well. Just solid. He's cool-colored. You're not going to find another one like this. You'll wear out a vehicle going and trying to find the look. You look at that mane, the forelock, how well he's put together, pretty head, big solid hip. He's just as solid as they come. We're excited to see where he ends up. And he's one that somebody's going to call the horse of their lifetime. Moving on to hip number 20. This is another one we've been excited about. We don't see a lot of these horses. It's a kind of a gaited horse. This is a foxtrotter. He's grade. He's brought to us by 6 Shooter Livestock. He's Palomino. Again, he's going to be up there in Blackfoot, Idaho. This is a 2009 model. He's grade, so he's 13 years old, 15 hands, disposition 2 for beginner friendly, temperament 2 for mellow. They've used him in trail riding, ranch work, barrel racing, 4-H club shows, play days, sorting, and team penning. Again, 6 Shooter told us about this horse several months ago before he was consigned. We've been excited to see him. We've got some neighbors here that all they ride is foxtrotters. They got one and started riding it, and after that, that's all they'll buy. They love them. They ride them all over on the mountains. They work cows. They ride them on them. They work cows on them on the ranch, and they love them. They tell us all the time that they would go out and outdo us on our quarter horses every day, day in, day out. This is the first one we've had in one of our cells. He's Palomino. He's flashy. He's going to get you noticed. If you haven't ridden one of these horses, we actually have a horse out here that our kids ride that is a Shetland pony foxtrotter cross. So he's half foxtrotter, and boy, that's the toughest little bugger I think we've ever had on our place. He'll carry just about anybody, go anywhere, do about anything, and we've really been impressed with him. And just that foxtrotter mentality is just kind of a fun personality of a horse. And again, here's one that's Palomino, going to get you noticed. He'll be fun to ride out on the trails, but they've used him for a little bit of everything, even into the arena and out on the ranch. Just like how mellow he goes. I guarantee you get on this horse and start covering some country, he'll be one of the smoothest rides you've ever had. You can see it right there, just in how smooth he transitions into there, into that extended trot kind of movement or jog. Just, he's going to be a cool horse, and not one, again, I mean, we've been doing this 7 years and we haven't seen one of these in our cells. So this is not one you're going to go find every day. I know, again, talking to Larry and Laura up there with Six Shooter, they've really enjoyed and liked this horse. We were excited to see him come. And you just look how he handles that country. This is going to be one that somebody's going to, again, take, and it could be a horse of a lifetime, because you just don't see the opportunities very often. He'll even herd the rabbits there for you. Moving on to hip number 21. This is Hannah. Hannah is a 2014 gelding, grade, brought to us by Tim Cobb out of Weiser, Idaho. His disposition is 2 for beginner friendly. Temperament is 2 for mellow. He's been used in trail riding, ranch work, ranch roping, arena roping, reining and reined cow horse. You see him work the gait right here, going bareback in a halter and a lead rope. That tells you something right there. You can jump on if you got a little bit of a trip from your tack shed to your pasture. You can jump on him with the lead rope and bareback and ride him down. If you're out on the mountain hunting and you need to go to the pond, you can jump up on him bareback and ride him over to the pond, it looks like. Again, I mentioned, Matt told me they've been out hunting deer and elk over the last couple months, and here he is out on the mountain when they were hunting, I think, deer on this trip. We may have a typo in here. It's listed in as a gelding. We'll get this fixed, but it looks like the write-up. This is actually a mare. So I apologize for the typo in there, but this is actually a mare. So we'll get that corrected before tomorrow. She'll take care of any level rider. It says in the write-up. You can see her covering the country out here in the mountains. She handles it well. Again, if you're looking for something trail here, you can see this young man riding him out through there. This young man was at our September show riding horses, and we got a kick out of him. But here he goes, just kind of riding out through the country. You can see just that horse is handling it nice and easy and going where he wants him to. He's been used a lot out on trail riding and gathering cattle. So if you're looking for a mountain horse, something to gather on, she has been used a lot. And again, we'll get that typo fixed, but this is a mare. So make sure you notate that this is a grade mare. Looks like she'll travel out and cover some country too. Big, nice, solid front shoulder on that horse. Cool colored, flashy paint. This horse kind of reminds me of Little Joe Cartwright's horse in Bonanza, and that kind of probably ages me, the fact that I know that. But that was the horse I always wanted as a kid, so I always pay attention to these horses that remind me of Little Joe's horse. Okay, moving on. This is another one that I'm really excited to see where it ends up. This is another one of our Frisian crosses. This one's brought to us by Matt Bailey up in Wellsville, Utah. Matt was our neighbor for several years. He is a horse trainer, and I guarantee you this horse has got a heck of a foundation on him. We had Matt start some horses for us and work for some. He's going to get them started right. You can see right there the stop on that horse. He's got a heck of a stop on him. I guarantee this horse is going to flex, carry his head right, collect up. Matt just does a tremendous job. Matt told us that he started this horse for a lady that ended up needing to sell him, and he immediately, as soon as he knew it was available, bought him, just because of how much he liked him when he started him. Now Matt's been out, moved cattle, hunted on him, done several things, but again, this horse getting a heck of a foundation. You see that extended trot, how he moves into it. Again, I talked earlier about these Friesians being used in dressage because of their intelligence and their ability to make these moves and these transitions. That's why they get chosen. This one is IMA Valiant Zephyr. He is a sire, is the Friesian, on the bottom of Tennessee Walker. So the dam is a Tennessee Walker, the sire is a Friesian. He's cool put together, he's flashy, that good solid black color. He's been used in trail riding and ranch work. He is 16 hands, disposition 3 for confident rider. He's still a young horse, and temperament 3 for average. I know, talking to Matt, that this horse just carries himself well. He's really liked this horse. He told me when he bought this horse how cool it was. And I know I've been talking to him for the last 2 or 3 months as he's been out using this horse. If you're looking for a horse that's going to have one heck of a foundation on him, going to get you noticed, he's a Friesian cross, and I guarantee you can be able to go do whatever you want on this horse. You should be paying attention here. Again, I mentioned we've had Matt start several horses for us. We've been impressed with how he gets the foundation on. He does it right. He gets them flexing. He gets them working off your feet. He gets them carrying their head right. This is going to be a cool horse, and somebody really ought to be paying attention here. If you took the horse, if you already had the horse and took it to get the training that this horse is going to have, you'd be $2,000 or $3,000 just in the training, probably closer to that $3,000 mark. Then you'd have to add the horse on top of that. So this is one that everybody, again, ought to be paying attention to. Just cool. You can see here, I talked about, I guarantee you, I knew it. Matt's got him flexing, carrying his head, working, moving at the diagonal, side passing. You can see how that horse is collected up, tucking its nose, just working, paying attention. Again, you go try to pay for this training, you're going to be $3,000 just for the training without the horse. Here, it's a package deal. You get the horse with the training. I know, again, Matt started this horse, but I know he's had him back for about 4 months. And as soon as he got him back, he called, he talked to me about him, started talking about putting him in a cell. And so I know he's been prepping him for this ever since. And I know, just talking to him, he's been riding him pretty much daily. He's going to swing a rope over here on him. I want to remind everybody again, there's more to these videos. We can't watch them all. I want to sit there and watch the rest of that one, but we got to keep moving. But somebody really ought to be paying attention to that horse. Again, just what you're getting in the training with him is going to be a deal. So moving on to hip number 23. This is Dusty's Done It, brought to us by Ron Brown out of Downey, Idaho. He is a 2018 grade gelding, so he's 4 years old. He's 14 two hands, disposition 3 for confident rider, temperament 3 for average. Been used in trail riding and arena roping, and we're going to see Ron rope several steers on him here in this video. I like how he's got a good solid start. He stands in the box good, comes out, puts him in pretty good position. He's good, well put together. Again, I like this size. I just like this 14 to 15 hand size for me anymore. But I was impressed with this horse, how he's working. He's a good, solid young horse. He's probably ready to go out and really finish out, start hitting the jackpots, maybe some rodeos. He's just the right size for that hill horse. He handles it well, putting him in position, putting him right there where he needs to be to swing that rope. He handles good in the box. He's got his whole life ahead of him. He's got some color, going to get you noticed. Good, solid, and again, if you want to, besides have the hill horse, maybe get something that you can go breakaway on, potentially turn into a calf horse. He's had about 100 steers out of the chute. He's quick-footed and athletic. He's good in the box. Starts off your hand, not the chute. Wouldn't take much to turn him into a breakaway horse. He says right in his write-up, he's the perfect size. So if you're looking for something along those lines, high school rodeo, college rodeo, even little britches, you need something to turn into the breakaway horse, but you can go and do breakaway, heel on the horse, kind of a well-rounded, here's something, got some color, going to get you noticed, got his whole life ahead of him. He's just 4, just coming into that age to really go start pushing him and competing on him. Just a good, solid, nice gelding right here that's going to make somebody a nice horse they can go finish out. Again, I like how he stands here in the box, how he comes out. He gets him into position. I mean, he's got a good start on him for a young rope horse right there that's ready to go. You can see working even there when the header gets a little off track, he's still going to have you there when you need to throw the rope. So if you're looking for something to go into the roping pen as a heel horse, a little bit of color, a little bit of flash, whole life ahead of him, here's just a good, nice, solid gelding. Again, I really like how he stands in the box there, scores that cow. Here's one that the ropers ought to be paying attention to, or somebody for high school or junior high rodeo or little britches. Somebody needs to be paying attention there. Here's another one of our Frisian crosses brought to us by the Jessup brothers down there in Hilldale, Utah. This is a 2019 model, so 3-year-old. This one is a Frisian cross with a Percheron. It is a mare, 16 hands, disposition 3 for Confident Rider, temperament 2 for Mellow. They've used her in ranch work. Again, another one that's registered, Frisian cross, going to have that Percheron there. Going to be a little bit bigger boned on this one, but again, a mare. So if you picked up the stud earlier in the sale and a couple of mares, you could have the heck of a beginning on a breeding program with some Frisian crosses. There's another one that was sired by one of the Young Family Farms studs, and again, the Jessup boys have had these horses since they were just young. Mentioned that the dam is Percheron, so again, bigger bone. She's gonna, that mare's gonna grow into maybe pushing 17 hands. Looking at the leg, but look at the feet on her. Look at the size of those feet with that Percheron cross. Look at her extend out across that country. Tucked her head, collected, nice. We just talked about that with Matt Bailey's horse. These horses collect up nice. They're smart. I've been talking about that. Here, I mean, again, this is a 3-year-old halter and a lead rope. Going to go across the bridge here. They're just got great dispositions. They got a lot of intelligence. You can teach them to do about anything. They're cool horses. We've been really excited about this mix of Frisian crosses in this sale, and just excited to see where they end up. I mentioned it early on. I don't think I've ever seen a sale with this many options for Frisian crosses. And these guys have just done a great job with these young horses. They got good starts on them. They're going the right direction. Here's an opportunity to pick up some horses and go finish them out and really have something special. And just look at that disposition. Tucks her head, wants to be friendly, wants to be touched. Here again, he's got the work going, teaching her to paw on command. The things that you can teach them to do. It's really impressive to see their intelligence and how they pick things up. And these guys have done a great job with them in getting them going and started. So there's some great opportunities in this sale. I said it earlier. It's just a really cool mix of horses. There's something in here for everybody. Moving on to hip number 25. This is Stretch, brought to us by John and Molly Sparrow out of Baxter Springs, Kansas. This is a 2018 grade gelding. He's 14-3 hands, disposition 3 for a Confident Rider, temperament 1, more woe than go. He's experienced in trail riding, ranch work, 4-H club shows, and play days. The Sparrow's been coming to our sales for the last year and a half or so. Everything they've brought, we've just been impressed with. They do a great job in their program, working with these horses, showcasing these horses. Everybody that's bought one so far in our sales been happy with it. We've had some great feedback from them. They always bring a packet with the horse that gives you, all of their recent records. They'll show you a picture of the bit they've been riding in. They offer to help work with the horse with you. They'll offer, if you want to go out to their place, they'll give you a 2-day riding experience working with you and your new horse right there when you go pick him up, if you go pick him up. Again, they're in Baxter Springs, Kansas. I think they're headed this direction here in the next little bit too. So if you're out in Kansas, great. They're right there. You can go ride this horse, get a 2-day experience with them. They'll get you really acquainted with the horse. They always offer that. They want these horses to go and be with somebody that really enjoys them, and they want it to be a good fit. But if you're out here in the Rocky Mountains, you could probably call them tomorrow and talk. I'm pretty sure they're going to be coming this direction. Not sure whether they got room in their trailer, but there's probably some possibility there if you need help getting them transported. But this is nice, good, solid gelding. I like how he carries his head. He's young. He's just 4 years old. Again, these guys do a great job. He's going to roll the bucket under him, get up on him. Just how he's standing there, just kind of taking that in stride, holding still. Nothing's really shocking him. His ears are forward. He's paying attention. He's kind of a cool size gelding, again, right there between that 14, 15 hands. He's just kind of a nice, solid, all-around gelding. Big, solid front shoulder on him. Just a cool, solid, good gelding that's, again, just 4 years old. He's got his whole life ahead of him. Here's one you go finish out, and you got 20 years ahead of you on a good, nice, solid gelding. Okay, moving on. This is Dally. Dally is hip number 26, brought to us by Cobb Family Horses and Mules out of Weiser, Idaho. He is a 2012 model gelding. He's grade. He's 15 hands, disposition 1, anyone can ride, temperament 2 for mellow. I was talking about this horse the other day, and he was talking about this hunting trip, and just that horse went all over the country, did everything he wanted. We were actually talking about this video, and I don't know who's riding this horse in this video, but he never lets go of his drink. So if you want a horse that you can go out and carry your drink on, not worry about spilling, this is the horse you probably ought to pay attention to, because he is everywhere in this video. The guy's carrying a drink. What that tells me is this horse rides good one-handed. He's not going to, have a stride or a jump or a bump or a spook that's going to set you out of your saddle. He rides good one-handed. He's covering this country. You see him going up that hill, carrying his head nice and low, good. He's got some stamina going up that hill. He's not slowing down, not tripping, not stumbling. If you're looking for a good, solid mountain horse, there you go right there. He's been used on the ranch roping, arena roping, cutting, rein cow horse, sorting, and team penning. I know, talking to Matt, this is one of the horses that he feels is the best of his mix in this sale. He put him in his top couple of horses in this sale, and just couldn't talk enough about how well-rounded he was, and going to be a good, solid gelding for somebody that's looking for an all-around horse. He's good to rope on, good around cattle. You can see here he's good in the mountains. They used him on the hunts all over last month. And again, you can carry your drink on him and not worrying about spilling. Coming down the hill there. We're going to cross some water right here. Again, when consigners start talking to me about the horses that ought to be paying attention, I usually start paying attention. These guys have had the horses and rode them and know them and use them. So when they come and tell me that, hey, this is the one that somebody's really going to be excited about, and single a horse out, that I start paying attention. And that's what Matt told me on this horse right here. Moving on to hip number 27. This is Cinch, is his barn name. He's actually registered. I'll get to that here in just a second. He is Pepinita's Sans Bow, an APHA registered gelding. Another one brought to us by Marissa Hansen. Marissa is Six Shooter's other daughter up there in Blackfoot, Idaho. You'll see her riding a lot of their horses as well. There's another one that's just cool, flashy paint horse. Cool gelding. I like how he tucks his head right there and tucks his butt in that stop. Pretty head on this horse. Nice, big, solid hip. Well put together. I like how he carries himself through the mountainous country, the rougher country here in the videos. He again, into the water. You can see here, nothing's going to bother him much. Even the blue ghost here, the blue tarp ghost. He is by Lark's 2 Minons, by Linky Star, by Skip a Star Jr. Well, not sure what happened there. Let me get the video going again. Sorry about that. By Two-Eyed 2D2, so maybe going back to Two-Eyed Jack there on the top side. That is a quarter horse line. On the bottom, High Dice Peppy Gal by High Dice Leo Bar by High Dice Sunny. Also Pepinita on the bottom, so another good quarter horse name there on the bottom side of his papers. You see, walks right out into the water, riding nice one-handed handle. Again, I mentioned earlier, I like how he carries his head. He's got a really pretty head. He's well put together. They've used him in trail riding, ranch work, 4-H club shows, play days, team sorting. Just a good, solid all around. They've got him listed as 2 for beginner friendly on the disposition, and temperament 2 for mellow. Again, he's a 2007 model, so he's 15 years old. Again, just one of those that's just going to have all the experience. You can see here, he's not going to step on you, hurt you. He takes it all in stride. They show, I think, in all these videos, loading the horses in the side door of the trailer. They do just a great job of getting them desensitized. Just a good, nice, clean throat ratch, pretty head horse right there. Just a nice, solid, well put together gelding. I like how he carries himself. He's flashy colored. He's registered. He's going to get you noticed. Nice stride out there and picking up his lead going into the lope. Just a cool gelding right here. She's got 2 really nice flashy paints in this cell that people ought to be paying attention to, that are going to be some nice horses for somebody. Okay, moving on to hip number 28. This is Monster. This is our first pony in the cell. This is one brought to us by Riley Hansen, who is Six Shooter's granddaughter. This was her first little pony that she got a year or so ago. They call him Monster. He's a 2013 pony gelding. He's 9.2 hands. Not 9.2 hands, 9.2 hands, sorry. Disposition 2 for beginner friendly, temperament 2 for mellow. They've used trail riding, 4-H club shows, play days, sorting, team penning, driving, pulling. See him pulling right here. They got this little pony for their granddaughter a year or so ago. She moved up to a little bit bigger pony here this fall. Is the only reason that this horse is available is she just moved to a little bit bigger size. But you can see this little pony's taking care of her. We'll even put the glasses on to make sure she's watching out for the stuff on the trail there. Willing to wear a hat, go to the costume party, whatever you want to do, she's going to take care of that little girl. Again, here with the jugs to see how she handles stuff around her feet. You can just see easy going. This video, if you haven't watched it, you're looking for a pony, make sure you watch all the way through it. They do some cool things with this little pony. She's just easy going, level headed. We've got a little pony very similar size here at our place that has gone through 2 of our girls now and is about our 4-year-old's just getting started on, been riding this year. Six Shooter picked that pony out for us. They knew we were looking and went and found one for them. And it's one that we've just been thrilled with. I mention that just because I think they do a great job of selecting the horses that they do get. It's somebody that we've gone to and asked for help when we've gone looking for horses. So you can see here, this is one that's really comparable to the one they helped us find. Just will take it all in stride and take care of your little ones. They're great for getting them started out where they're comfortable going up, catching them, bridling them, learning how to saddle and brush them, and we'll just take care of these kids. They're worth their weight in gold. And this is going to make somebody a heck of a cool little pony. I guarantee you if they trusted their granddaughter on this horse, then you can trust that they'll take care of your little ones. Pulling the cans there. And he's cool colored. That's a pretty unique colored pony right there. You're not going to find that every day. Okay, moving on to hip number 29. This is Cash. Cash is brought to us by Fraser Training and Livestock at Enterprise, Utah. They had some horses in our July sale. I know we got a lot of really positive feedback from the buyers on those horses. We're just really happy with the experience working with Fraser's down there. So this is a 2010 grade gelding. He's 15 hands, disposition 4 for an intermediate rider. So pay attention there. Temperament 3 for average. He's been used in trail riding, ranch work, ranch roping, arena roping, sorting, and team penning. He's a good all-around mount that's ready for a job. He's been used for everything on the ranch, including sorting, team and ranch roping, trail riding, and packing. You can see here him getting tacked up. I know watching through this horse, I think this is another one that I just was impressed with the stop on. I'm going to speed up here a little bit so we see a little bit more than the tacking up. But you see here he's pulling the tarp, handling that well. Looks like he's got a good stride to carry you out. Again, we're just showing bits and pieces of these videos. If you haven't seen them all, please go back and watch them. There's a lot of stuff that we're skipping over just because of the time that we have. But I know that there's a fair amount of video in here on this horse in the arena, working him. Again, it's one that I think I remember seeing just a really impressive stop on this horse. And they mentioned they've got him going on the roping ends. Just a good, solid, all-around kind of a gelding. He's 12 years old, prime of his life. And again, we got a lot of really good feedback from the horse they sold in July, so they've been good. Here you can see him working the sled, working on him roping. He looks to me like he's got some speed to him. Gonna really go out and cover some ground. Here he is, team sorting right here. And as I remember in this, they do a good job. I think they clear the pan on this. So you can see him working the cows there. Just a good, solid, nice, all-around kind of gelding that's ready to go out and use and make somebody a good, solid horse. Looks like he's got some athleticism, some speed. Just working that pen of cows really good. Good, nice, solid horse right there that somebody needs to pay attention to. Okay, here is hip number 30. This is ICJ Red Wing. I believe this is the last of our Frisian crosses right here, if I remember correctly. Another one from the Jessup boys down there in Hilldale, Utah. This is a Frisian crossed with an Andalusian. So the dam is going to be Andalusian. It's a 2019 model. Again, registered. It is a mare, again. 15 hands, disposition 2 for beginner friendly. Temperament 2 for mellow. Another good solid young. I like the big solid front shoulder. Here you can see he's got him trained to do the paw or prance right off of his feet riding on this mare. Again, another one that was bred by the Young Living Farms sire. I mentioned earlier they had these horses bred. They've had them basically since they were babies. Andalusian mare, Frisian sire. Again, they're registered. Look at this horse. I mean, again, 3-year-old, one-handed, working off the feet, side passing. She's put together well. I really kind of like the way this particular mare is put together. You can see a little bit of that Andalusian in there that makes her just kind of a flashy. She's a pretty bay color. See how she carries out and walks there. Just a good, solid, nice young horse. I mentioned earlier, we've been really excited about this mix of Friesian crosses and some of the draft crosses in this sale. We've never had the selection that we've got in here. When you add up the Friesian crosses and the draft crosses that are crossed with Percherons and big, solid, nice draft horses, this is the best selection we've ever had. We've been really excited about it, especially when you start considering, I think, of all the Friesian crosses and draft crosses, I think there's only 2 in the whole sale that aren't registered. And that's somewhat unique. Not everybody's taking the time to get them registered. And there they are. Again, I've mentioned with, especially with these Friesian mares that are registered and you've got a stud early in the sale, there's the beginnings of a Friesian breeding program right here in this sale. You could pick them all up right here and have a very great beginning on a Friesian cross breeding program. I like how this horse just carries out and moves. She's going to cover some country for you. Just a cool, nice, neat horse. And again, it's unique. I think that there's as many in this cell right here of these Friesian crosses as we've had in all of our other shells combined over the last 7 years. So it's a unique, fun collection, and we're excited to see how they go. Here's another one of our draft crosses. This is hit number 31, Tugboat, brought to us by Cub Family Horses and Mules out of Weiser, Idaho. He's a 2011 draft cross. He's 14-3 hands. Disposition 1, anyone can ride. Temperament 2 for mellow. Been used in trail riding, ranch work, and ranch roping. I know I mentioned earlier talking to Matt, he picked out 2 that he said were the 2 that he really highlighted in the sale. This was the other one right here. I know there's been a couple people go out and try this horse that have been excited about him. He's big, he's solid. You can see here pulling that calf out across there. He's just as solid as a tank. He's been used all over the ranch. You'll see later in this video working the gates. At one point this boy even picks up a gate and carries him with this horse. He works some gates through. You can see him hold this calf right here. Takes it in stride. He's big. He's solid. I can see there he's going to have some big feet on him. He's got some big bone. He's going to hold up for you. He's just 11 years old in the prime of his life. Again, I know there's been a couple people go try this horse out up there that have been excited about him. Just a good, solid all around. And I mentioned a minute ago, we've never had the kind of selection in a cell that we've got for this cell for draft crosses, Friesian crosses, all of that type of stuff. So here's another cool horse that's going to make somebody just a solid ranch or mountain horse. You need to go out and work a bull, have some size to pull it. Here we're going to start seeing them work the gates. And again, when the consigners start telling me that pay attention to a particular horse out of a group, then that tells you something. Here's where he's kind of just picking one up and carrying. I think a little bit later here, he just literally right there is going to pick that gate up and carry it with that horse in the mud, fighting through it. That horse just takes it in stride, doing what he asks. Big, solid. Again, just he's working through a foot of mud there, carrying the gate, working the gate, and the horse is just taking it in stride. Like how he carries his head, paying attention, just big, solid, cool horse that somebody's really going to enjoy. Okay, here's our third and last horse from KD Performance Horses. Wade Lindsay Davis out there in Ballard, Utah. This is KDPH Blue Boomer. Another registered draft cross. They call him Boomer. He is a 2018 model, again registered with IDSHR, 15-3 hands, disposition 1, anyone can ride, temperament 1, more wool than go. He's been used in trail riding, ranch work, and ranch roping. Another one that I think later in here you can see him lay down. You can see here he's riding bridleless. Easy going, nice horse, boy. He's well put together. He's pretty blue roan, flashy color. We've just really been, I keep saying it, but we've been really excited about this mix of horses. We were really excited to see where they end up, and I can't say enough. I think that the cumulative, this is the best mix of horses that we've ever had. So This one is also microchipped based on these papers. Again, he's a 2018 model. His dam was a grade AQHA mare, and the sire was a Percheron. So it's actually, the sire was a Belgian Percheron cross. So you got a Belgian Percheron cross sire bred to a grade AQHA mare. And again, this horse is microchipped. He'll lay down for you. Here you can see it again. Bridleless. He just laid that horse down bridleless. Nothing around his neck. Working off his feet. Just see how that horse lays out there. Here this boy's out, going to lope some circles on him. Again, Wade's told me his boys have been riding all of these horses throughout the summer and got along well with them. Just a solid set of horses right here. We're excited to see where they end up. They're cool colored. They're big. They're solid. They're registered draft crosses. You can see how that horse handles for that boy right there. Just tucking his head, collected up, working off of his feet. Nice, consistent lope. They say right there in their video, safe for the entire family. Just a good, solid horse. They're going to get you noticed. Flashy. I'm excited to see where they end up with these horses. Moving on to hip number 33. This is Spur. This is another one brought to us by 6 Shooter Livestock out of Blackfoot, Idaho. He's a 2015 grade gelding. He's 14-3 hands, disposition 2 for beginner friendly, temperament 2 for mellow. He's been used in trail riding, ranch work, ranch roping, 4-H club shows, play days, sorting, team penning, western pleasure. I know talking to Larry the other day about this horse, and I think he put this out on Facebook, just that he mentioned this is a good, solid, well put together horse, nice hip. You can see him move out good there. He may not have the color some of these horses have, but I know Larry was talking about this is just a good, solid, all-around horse. And, color aside, the best color's broke. The best color's going to take care of you. Pretty head on that horse. Nice, big, solid hip. Look how he just walks right onto that water with no hesitation. Just going where he wants to. Like how he's carrying his head. Again, Larry mentioned the other day, this is just a good, solid horse that somebody needs to be paying attention to. And he's well put together. Again, he's 7 years old. Just getting into the prime of his life. A ton of life ahead of him. See how he takes that right there. Just patient, easy going. Good, solid, nice gelding right here that somebody's really going to enjoy. He's going to take care of you. Just taking everything in stride. Going to go out and cover some country in the mountains for you there. Good, look at the hip on that horse going up that hill. Just good, solid, well put together gelding. That's going to take care of you and go do what you need him to do. See him pulling right here. Pulling the sleigh with the hay bale. So he'll pull from the horn from you, even with no hands, it looks like. I mentioned it all the way through here. 6 Shooter just does a great job of exposing these horses to about everything and showcasing it. Moving on to hip number 34. This is Remington. Remington is brought to us by Mike and Ashley Owens out of Liberty, Utah. He is a 2015 gelding. He's grade. He's 15-3 hands tall. He's disposition 3 for a confident rider, temperament 3 for average. He's been experienced in trail riding, ranch work, ranch roping, sorting, and team penning. Big, nice, solid gelding with a lot of chrome. Wears a number 2 shoe or size 2 shoe. They do a little bit of everything in him. If you're looking for something to go out and here you can swing the rope in the sled. If you're looking for a good, solid, again, probably kind of an all-around kind of horse. They've used him on the ranch, tagging calves, sorting pairs. Been used on the trail and in the arena. I liked how this horse handles, works off the feet. like how he carries his head nice and collected up there. He's flashy. He's got some chrome for you. You carry the flag on him. This kind of horse, I see this horse and I think, boy, if you have somebody that's doing drill team with flags or high school rodeo, need a ranch horse, need something that you could kind of just do it all on. Here's one that's just a good solid horse. He's only 7 years old. Going to be coming 8 this spring. He's got just coming into his prime. Got his whole life ahead of him. Big solid front shoulder on him right there. Again, I like how he tucks his head up in there and carries his head. Wants to tuck his butt there in that stop, backing up. They've got him started, roping the sled here. They've primarily used him on the ranch horse, but they say he's a fast learner. Just good, solid, nice gelding right here, and he's going to get you noticed. Got a good, pretty head too. Again, I like how he collects right there in all of this movement. Tucking his head up, collecting, walking down through that trail right there. Just a good, solid, nice, all-around kind of a gelding. Picks up his leads, loping nice and collected right there. Just, if you're looking for a good, solid, all-around ranch and rope type of a gelding that you could probably go do about anything on, somebody should be paying attention right here, and he's going to get you noticed. Big, nice, solid hip there. As they mentioned in the write-up, got some chrome. Solid gelding there as well. I can't say enough how excited we are about this mix of horses. Moving on to hip number 35, this is Archie, another one brought to us by John and Molly Sparrow out of Baxter Springs, Kansas. He is a 2010 grade gelding. He's 15 hands. His disposition is 2 for beginner friendly. Temperament is 2 for mellow. They've used him in trail riding, ranch work, 4-H club shows, play days, sorting, and team penning. I mentioned earlier, Sparrow's been coming to our sales for a little over a year now. They do a great job with these horses. They always give you great information on them. It's another one, again, if you go to their place, they'll give you a 2-day riding clinic to get familiar with the horse. You get a great opportunity to go, get to know the horse before you just take them and go. So hopefully somebody takes some advantage on that. But he's well put together. Boy, he's flashy. He's pretty with red roan. Again, I mentioned they're coming out west here in December. So if you're close to Kansas, he's right there. And if you're not, they're coming this direction in the next month or so. So you could probably arrange with them for him to bring him out if you're out here in the Utah, Idaho area, somewhere along the corridor. They're headed to Las Vegas in December. So there is potential that you could work out for them to get the horse out here for you. They're pulling a log. Look at how that horse is carrying his head. Nice, pretty head, by the way. But just collected up, kind of carrying its head right there level. Pulling that in stride and not concerned about what he's pulling. Carrying the flag. Moves out nice with that good extended jog right there. Just a cool, nice, solid built gelding. Good. Again, that size that I kind of like in that 14, 15 hand range. He's listed as 15. Nice, steady lope right there. Just a good, solid all-around gelding, and he's got some flash. He's going to get you noticed. Working off and pivoting right there. He'll even carry the dogs for you. Okay, moving on to hip number 36. This is another one we were excited to see in the sale. We've seen this horse in person when we were up to the Cobbs Ranch this summer. As a matter of fact, as we were walking by the pasture, this is the horse that I picked out of their pasture. Of all they had standing out there, I noticed this horse stand out. She's just pretty with a pretty head, nice hip. Just stood out in the pasture. She is registered. She's a 2017 AQHA mare. Her registered name is Sunshine Micah. by Just Plain Buckskin, by Just Plain Colonel, by the great Colonel Freckles. Also double R Doc on the top. On the bottom, she's out of Mica Sand by Sand Zone by the great Peppy Sand Badger. Also Fritz Command on the bottom. She's, again, just 5 years old. She's 14 3 hands tall, disposition 3 for a confident rider, temperament 2 for mellow. They've used her in trail riding, ranch work, ranch roping. I know, talking to them, they've got her kind of started on the sleds and ready to start going towards the arena. I think they've been working on her as a breakaway horse and a heel horse. I'm trying to remember that from conversations, but call her up and verify that. But I'm pretty sure. Here you can see her out on the mountain. I believe this is again on their hunts. When we were up there in person, there are probably 50 horses in a pasture, and this is the horse that stood out to me up there just from looking. She's really well put together. She's pretty. Here you can see they're actually gathering cows out there when they were gathering, working along. She's just a nice, well put together horse. She's pretty. She's eye-catching. When we were up there, out of 50 head of horses, that's the one that stood out in the pasture to me walking by. So she's got her whole life ahead of her. I'm pretty sure they've got her started going towards breakaway and heeling. She's one that you can go into the rope pen. She's registered. You want to get babies out of her down the road. She's got that buckskin gene. So you got some chance at some colored babies down the road. She's just a nice, solid, well put together mare. We were excited to find out she was going to be in our cell, just again because we'd seen her in person. Nice lope out there, picking up her lead. She's flashy. She's going to get you noticed no matter where you go. And she's got her whole life ahead of her. She's ready to go out and finish into something that will make a heck of a horse. Here is hip number 37. This is Ray. Now, when we went in to get the pre-purchase on our daughter's horse the other day, Dr. Utley here in Richfield had been talking with the Cordners who have this horse from Colin Cordner out of Huntington, Utah. And Doc Utley was telling us about this horse and just how this boy has worked with this horse and done just about everything on her. She's a 2019 Welch Pony Cross mare. She's grade. She's 13 2 hands. Disposition for a 3 for a confident rider. She's just 3 years old. Temperament 2 for mellow. She's been used in trail riding, ranch work, and ranch roping. You can see this boy's crawling all over her. Doc Utley was telling us about this boy. Got this horse going, has just done a tremendous job working with her and can do just about anything. And I'm not exactly sure how Doc Utley knew about this horse, but I know that he was calling people up and telling them they needed to pay attention. And I don't know how many people know Dr. Utley down here in Richfield, but he's a horseman that's been around for years and years and years, from the racehorse industry to the barrel racing industry. He's a horse vet, and he knows what he's talking about when it comes to horses. When he starts talking about you ought to pay attention to a horse, you know something caught his eye, and he knows what he's looking for. This is a cool-sized pony. They're hard to find. They're big enough for those bigger youth, a small adult. They'll go out and carry them. You can see, look at that horse tuck its tail and stop, backing up, how she just stands there, rides out. I like how she moves. These are hard to find. Hard horses to find in this size. You can give some youth some confidence. Again, that kind of that middle line youth that can still saddle them and catch them and do everything on their own, but they've got some speed and athleticism. You can go do 4-H and Little Britches rodeo on these horses and still be competitive. You can just see this horse is wanting to do whatever that boy asks her. And again, when Dr. Utley was telling us about what he knew about the horse, it was just how much this boy has done with this horse and how good of a job he's done. Somebody really should be paying attention here. These are really hard kind of horses to find. This boy's done a great job with this one. This is one that could be, my wife and I talk all the time about the horses that we had at this age and what we remember, and they're the ones that you remember your whole life. And somebody needs to get this horse where somebody's going to look back 40 years later and remember this horse when they were, 8 to 12 years old and out doing everything in the world on this horse. This is one that somebody really ought to be paying attention to. Moving on to hip number 38. This is T.L. Scudder's Escape. They call him Playboy. Brought to us by Tobin McBride out of Jameson, Oregon. He is a registered AQHA gelding. He is by Scudder Dell, by Scudder Scott, by Scottish. Also Hooky Dell on the top. On the bottom, out of Skip Vanessa, a daughter of Skip Cascade, by Skipper's Ring. Also St. Silence on the bottom side. I know I've talked to a few people that know this horse that said that he's the real kind of deal to go out and be broke ranch horse. You can rope on him. Same kind of horse every day you ride. He's Palomino. He's registered. He's flashy. He's got a nice head. They've got him listed as disposition 3 for a comfort rider, temperament 2 for mellow. Again, I've talked to 2 or 3 people that know this horse, been around this horse, that have told me just this is a good, solid, real deal kind of a gelding that's going to make somebody a really, really nice horse. He's 15 years old, so he's been there, done that. He's got some experience, but he's still got a lot of life ahead of him. He's put together well. You can see him handling well. Again, think big, stout, sure-footed. I'm pretty sure that they told me that this horse has been roped on, but I call Peter and verify that, or Tobin McBride and verify that. But just a good, solid gelding, and the guys that I've talked to are ranchers up around there that have seen him. They've had this horse for years. He's been around. Everybody's known this horse for several years. So good, solid gelding. A lot of life ahead of him, but got a lot of experience behind him. That's going to make somebody a nice horse. Here he is working some cows out in the arena. I like how he carries his head, nice and collected, tucked in. Collected up nice behind that extended trot. Looks like he could really cover some ground and get you there. He is loping a circle again, collected up nice there, and how he's carrying his head. Just a good, solid, nice gelding. Okay, moving on to hip number 39. This is another one I'm excited to see about. This is, I think, the last of our draft crosses here. This is Blackjack. He's brought to us by Jenny Nelson out of Grantsville, Utah. Jenny had a draft cross horse in our July sale that topped our July sale. And I know that I talked to several people that went and rode that horse before the sale, and everybody that didn't get that horse bought was disappointed. This is a Percheron cross. He's crossed with, I think, a quarter horse. Yeah, so he's half Percheron, half quarter horse. He is a 2011 model, so he's 12 years old. He's 16 hands, disposition 3 for a confident rider, temperament 4 for a gas pedal. Now, I talked with Jenny a little bit about this horse this morning, and again, I mentioned they had a horse in our July sale that topped the sale, and the people that didn't get that horse bought were disappointed. The people that got him bought, or have been thrilled. Jenny told me this morning this horse is every bit of what that horse was that they sold in July. He's got a little bit more of a motor, but he's a real deal. I also know a trainer up in the area of Tooele that knows Jenny and knows this horse. He called me the other day just to tell me that this horse is as legit of a ranch horse as he's ever seen, and that's a trainer that trains horses and dogs and's been around, and he's seen the real deal kind of horses that was impressed enough with this horse being around him and knowing him and seeing him that took the time to pick up the phone and call me just to tell me how legit this horse was. So if you're looking for something that's legit, This is a nice solid horse. You look how he carries out. He carries his head nice and level. They do a good job of presenting him here. He's big. He's solid. He's going to, I mean, God, you could pack half your house on him. He's going to hold up for a long time. He's 11 years old. He's in the prime of his life. He's got his whole life ahead of him. You know, Jenny mentioned this morning, they mentioned he's got a little bit more of a motor, but he's broke. He's got the handle on him. He's stopped. You can see him riding one-handed. See how he backs up there. This is a nice horse. You know, I mentioned, you see spinning, pivot, working off the feet. I mentioned they topped our sale in July with a horse that a lot of people went and tried out before the sale that all wanted to get that horse bought. And Jenny told me today, this horse is every bit of what that horse is, just a little bit more of a motor. He's been ridden English as well as Western. There's no job too big for him. He's just good, solid. I like how he's put together. I like his head. This is a good, solid horse. And again, when the trainer that called me, I don't think trained this horse, but when a trainer's been around a horse and knows it's been in our cell and that thinks enough of it to pick up the phone and call us and tell us how legit the horse is, that tells me something. You know, I mentioned I think this is the last draft cross in our cell. You see him moving. I'll tell you what, somebody needs to be paying attention. Just because he's last doesn't mean somebody shouldn't be after him. This is a horse that somebody's going to take home and have a heck of a nice horse. Again, they do a good job. We can't watch all this video, but somebody really needs to be paying attention there. We've got just an incredible selection of draft crosses in this cell, and you know, they've been hot for several years. Somebody needs to be paying attention to what's in this cell. Moving on to hip number 40. This is Frida. Frida's brought to us by Delaney Ellsworth out of Drury, Idaho. This is a 2010 grade mare. Disposition 4 for an intermediate rider. Temperament 3 for average. They've used her in trail riding and Western pleasure. Now, Delaney brought, I think it was a mule to our winter sale. I was really impressed with how she had that horse had that mule handling. I think she also rode a horse. We have several mutual acquaintances with Delaney, and everybody that knows her talks about how good a job she does with the horses and the mules that she rides. Watching this video this morning, you know, she's riding in a Bozell. That tells you something about the horse. I like how this horse carries its head. She covers all kind of country. I like how this horse travels out, and it just is a cool color, well put together. She's 11 years old, or 12 years old. She's in the prime of her life. Again, everybody we know that knows Delaney talks about how good a job she does with these horses. I'm sure this is going to be no exception. Later in this video, she's riding her up and down the river, had her out in the mountains. She's pretty. She's good look, well put together. Just a nice horse. I like the head. I like how she carries her head. Again, she's riding in a Bozell. That tells you something. How she carries her head and collects up riding in a Bozell. That's a finished horse. You know, I used to always talk about my uncle, who I considered one of the best horsemen around, talked about when you see a horse in a Bozell or a Hackamore that's an aged horse, you know that the horse is finished. It's kind of like being up in the bridle. It doesn't take a lot for that horse to know what you want, and they're paying attention and willing and ready to work for you. I like how this horse walks out, carries its head, picks up its gaits. Again, later in this video, she's all over the mountains, going up and down the river. Just picks up her lead there. Just a good, solid. This horse really stood out to me as I was watching through the videos. Not one that I necessarily was paying as close of attention until I got through the videos, but watching this video was really impressed with this horse. I think that's one that somebody's going to really enjoy and ought to be paying attention to. Okay, here's hip number 41. This is Flint. Flint is brought to us by McCade Jensen out of Elmo, Utah. He is a 2013 grade gelding. He's 15 hands. His disposition is 5. He requires an experienced rider. His temperament is 3 for average. Has got experience in trail riding, ranch work, ranch riding, 4-H, club shows, and play days. He's a pleasure to ride. He's big, he's stout, he goes all day. He'll get you noticed. He's been used for ranch work, parades, and play days, gathering cows, riding all over the desert and the mountains. He crosses water. He's had him in water up to the saddle skirts several times. Crosses logs and rocks without a problem. He's easy to catch. He's been used as a pack horse, camping trips. He carries a pack nicely. Doesn't get bothered by the tarps and different things when he's packing. He's hobble broke. He's not buddy sour. He's calm and easy to work with. I know watching him, he got some good movement to him. Not big solid hip there on him. Here you can see him with the pack saddle on and packing out. Looks like he's got some good big solid feet on him. He's big boned right there. You can see the big bone in him. Again, big solid hip, nice front shoulder, pretty head. He's got that buckskin color. Just a good big solid nice stout gelding. We'll get up here to get some video of him riding. You see here he crossing water. The ride-up mentioned about having him up to the skirt in waters, saddle skirt in water. He's 9 years old, so just in the prime of his life. See him with the tarps here, out on the mountains. Just a good, solid, well put together gelding here. And again, he's buckskin. You see him. I'm going to cover him up in the tarp here. Pack and double. I mentioned earlier, if you're bidding, we hope that you've already talked to these consigners. But here's one, I'm reading the write-up. I'm seeing what I'm seeing in the video. I definitely would call McCade on this horse. He mentions 5, requires experienced rider. I'm not really seeing why in this sell. That might even be a typo. I'm going to go double check it from the consignment form. But this is the reason. Call up the consigners, ask some questions. Tell them what you're going to use the horse for. Obviously, he's a great pack horse. He rides good from what I can see. He's riding in a loose rein right there walking out. Big, solid, well put together horse. But this is the reason we want to make sure that buyers are calling these consigners and asking questions. Maybe this is a misinterpretation right here of what it is. That horse, to me, rides out nice. Looks like he handles pretty well. One-handed rein. Everything I can see in it looks really good. But hopefully somebody's picking up the phone and calling McCade tonight or tomorrow, getting to know. I mean, that's a big, solid, nice gelding in the prime of his life that looks to me like he could carry about anything, walk out, and cover some good country. Moving on to hip number 42. Hopefully. We're going to refresh here. Sorry for a little bit of technical difficulties. I'm not sure what happened right there. Here's hip number 42. This is Silo. This is the last horse by Six Shooter Livestock. This is one I really think is kind of a cool horse. I like the kind of that baldy face. He's got a cool, pretty head. He is a 2013 grade gelding. He's 15 hands. His disposition is 2 for beginner friendly. I'm not sure what's going on here with why I can't get this video to load. I apologize. I'm going to refresh it again. I've got internet on another computer right next to here, so I'm not exactly sure what I got going on with this connection right here at the moment. Apologize for that. So let's try this again. Okay, there we go. Here is this again. Is hip number 42. This is Silo, the last one from 6-Shooter Livestock out of Blackfoot, Idaho. He's a 2013 grade gelding. Disposition is 2 for beginner friendly. Temperament is 2 for mellow. He's been used in trail riding, ranch work, 4-H club shows, play days, sorting, and team penning. Again, this is one I think is kind of a cool horse. He's just again in that size that I like. He carries his head nice, pretty head, nice big solid hip. Carries out. Again, I apologize. I'm not exactly sure what we got going on here with this particular horse and video. He is a grandson of Colonel Smoke and Gun. So if you want to know how they know that, you'll have to call them and ask them. But that's the horse that's commonly referred to as Gunner. But he's put together like that horse, nice, solid, well put together. I like how he carries himself through here. Again, we've talked through all this. 6-Shooter does a great job. Okay, I'm going to jump over here and pull it up on our website. See if we can get a little bit better for you. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties we got going here. He carries out nice. I like how he carries his head. Again, I apologize on the technical difficulties we having. But this is just a good, nice, solid horse. Hopefully you'll go watch the video on this horse. Again, we're going to get later in the sale where this is going to be at the tail end where some people are going to miss some other horses. Hopefully they're paying attention to these later horses. Another one, talking to 6-Shooter, I know that they've really liked this horse. And that is one that people ought to be paying attention to. I liked watching through the videos how he worked out. Okay, we're going to move on to hip number 43. And I apologize again. We're working off of a hotspot that we need to do the upload to get these videos to do on the live stream. I think we just went a little bit long and got beyond our high-speed data. So fortunately, there's just a couple more horses left. I apologize. The videos are a little blurry, but we're going to try to get this finished up here in the next few minutes. You can get on here and watch these videos from the website yourself. This is hip 43. This is Chief. Brought to us by Fraser Training and Livestock. He is a 2012 mini pony, and he's a stallion. If you want to start breeding ponies, here's one that you can get to start that program. He's 10 hands, disposition 3 for a confident rider, temperament 3 for average. Has been used in trail riding, ranch work, and barrel racing. Now, I know there's a picture in here. They packed some deer out on him. Kind of a cool little colored horse. You can see you can goat rope on him, it looks like. Swing a rope on him. Looks like they've got him kind of taught to learn to hold that rope. So if you're looking for something maybe to take to little britches or youth rodeos that they need to work, here's one that obviously there's a picture in here too holding the rope. They've got him going. Again, you could start a little breeding program with him. If you don't want a stud, take him and get him gelded. He's only 11, or he's only 10. He's got a lot of life ahead of him. These ponies oftentimes live well into their 30s. He'll get a whole slew of kids started in life going, and he obviously can cover some water. Just kind of a cool little pony. Again, we only got 3 in this sale. Christmas is just around the corner. If you're looking for something to really surprise one of your kids under the tree, there's just 3 in here, so you ought to be paying attention to the 3 that we've got. Again, they've packed on him there. They packed a little bit of deer out on him. That in itself tells you something. If you've hunted deer and packed on them, you know that sometimes they don't like that smell. He'll ride double there. Just kind of a cool little pony. These ponies of this side did wonders for our kids. Built confidence, taught them how to handle them. They're great for teaching kids and getting them a good start. Here they got him going on the barrels. Boy, if you want a little pony rodeo, he barrels, he'll goat rope, do a little bit of everything. So again, somebody ought to be paying attention here. Okay, moving to hip number 44. If you're looking for pretty, somebody needs to pay attention here. This is Uno. He's the last horse brought to us by Cobb Family Horses and Mules up in Weiser, Idaho. He is a 2010 Andalusian Cross gelding. He's 15-1 hands, the disposition of 2 for beginner friendly, temperament 2 for mellow. And I'm struggling with videos again. I apologize. I can't change my internet service without losing everybody. So again, I've seen this horse in person. Good, solid, nice gelding. If you go to the website or to the auction site and run that video, you can watch him. He's been used on the ranch up there. Matt called me the day he got this horse and took him off the trailer, was excited about him. He's definitely eye-catching. We've seen him in person. He's just a good, solid, nice gelding. They've used him around up there, and he's flashy. If you want to see flashy, that horse is going to get you noticed. Moving on to our last horse, hip number 45. This is Go-Go Juice, brought to us by Curtis Hargan out of Baxter Springs, Kansas. He is a 2017 APHA registered gelding, so Paint Horse Association. He's 15 hands, disposition 3 for a confident rider, temperament 2 for mellow. Has experience in trail riding, ranch work, 4-H club shows, and play days. They say he's a fun and consistent gelding. He has a nice short lope with a nice level steady head. Again, he's just down the road from the Sparrows, so if you're out here in the Rocky Mountain region and get him bought, and they can help you with some transportation. But if you're out there in the Midwest, he's right there in your backyard in Kansas. He is by Isa Best, by St. MR Eye Opener. Also Running Manic on the top. On the bottom, out of Dawson Lip, a daughter of Lip Rocket, by Smooth High Rocket. Also White Zips Zero. Again, American Paint Horse Association. Looking through on these papers, there's only one line of paints, so he's 75% or more quarter horse. Nice solid hip. He'll carry a flag for you there. Walks out nice. Going to cover some ground for you. Just good, solid, nice gelding. And again, he's only 5 years old. He got his whole life ahead of him. And he'll be the last horse in the sale again tomorrow. So again, we want to remind everybody the horses will start closing tomorrow at 5 p.m. They'll close in 5-minute increments. So hip number 1's at 5, hip number 2's at 5:05, hip number 3 at 5:10, and so on. If anybody bids in the last 60 seconds, it'll extend that horse by 2 minutes. A horse can extend multiple times, and that will not change the time on any other horses. Payment will be due at the end of the sale unless you already approved for a bank wire, in which case you'll pay on Monday with the bank wire. If you've not pre-approved for a bank wire, you will need to pay with a credit card tomorrow, and it's a 3% processing fee. If you need help breaking it up over a couple of credit cards, you can call the numbers on the auction site, and they'll help you out. Also, as a reminder, there'll be a pre-purchase in the pictures on every horse you can review. The one other thing I forgot to mention earlier, All these horses will need to get the applicable health certificates and brand inspections made out in the buyer's name. So if you're planning on picking the horse up prior to Monday, you probably need to call the consignor, make sure that they can get their brand inspector there and the vet to write the health cert. They have to provide us with that paperwork before they can be paid. So you'll want to make sure that they can get that done on Sunday if you're going to try to pick the horses up on Sunday. You need to try to pick them up within 7 days. We will make sure that all the proper paperwork is there. And we wish everybody the best of luck. We'll go live for about 30 minutes tomorrow about 4:15.